Welcome back to another Rockford CCG Street Fighter vs. Darkstalkers deck profile series. We are here, the finish line. We saved the best for last because all you guys want to know what that Ken 2 tech is. And I brought in a very special guest, Devon Bernier from Calgary, the Immortal Demon King brainchild master creator. Yeah, something like that. So
self-proclaimed Ken fanboy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because didn't you play Ken 2 at Ken 1 at Nationals?
Oh, I did. I got absolutely curb stomped on stream by the Pit 2 games in a row.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That was like, that's a card.
Yeah, yeah, that kind of stops you from doing everything, right? Because
I couldn't do anything through that. It was hilarious.
So I reached out to him. He got a Ken deck ready. He's going to talk about his, I guess, start to end. So we're going to go over a few Ultra pages. So follow along at home, and I'll click over. And then whenever you're ready, Devon, you are good to go. So you want to start on page 1 then?
Yeah, page 1.
Okay.
So one of the things that I love about this character that I was kind of surprised that they did this with was he doesn't really tell you how to play the game. That's, I like, if I'm going to build a deck, I love having the freedom to kind of choose my own path. So Ken's much more of a choose your own adventure than a lot of the characters that we've seen in the last few sets.
Sure.
All he really says is, if you show me orange cards, I'll push somebody's teeth out.
Yeah.
So I remember when he was spoiled, everyone's like, wow, this guy's nuts. And, when we didn't see really a whole ton of his support or having anything he was going to do. So now that we've got a more clear picture of what his cards do, I wanted to zero in on a few of those when I was building it.
Okay.
To the standout ones. And the 2 standout cards to me were his foundation, not over until you die. The first swarm commit, if there's at least 2 attacks you remove from game pile, you draw a card.
Sure.
I thought making him an 8 hand size was going to be nuts.
Yeah.
And his uncommon attack, the stun 2 kick. Inazuma, yada yada.
IKW for short.
Yeah. Axe kick.
Axe kick. There you go. That's what it really is.
It's just
an axe kick.
That's what they have. Evil Ryu does that in Street Fighter 5, I think. Or Street Fighter. Just like, it's basically the same move. It's giant axe kick. I guess he ends every combo in the game with it, and for ridiculous damage. So those were the 2 cards that stood out to me because particularly the stun 2 on his kick that seemed to kind of synergize with his kit really well.
Yeah.
Because he's going to give you all the damage in the universe, and he really just wants to push attacks through. And the easiest way to do that is going to be by stunning people. So on that note, Ken 1 kind of stuns the shit out of people. So I want to stack him.
Yeah.
I want to go full fanboy, and I want to stack him. And the easiest way to do that is to play Here We Go. So that was kind of like, that's what stood out to me in terms of just playing, just a pile of cards with his face on it. What do you want? It's like that. That's what I want to run with to start. I Feel Violent kind of got shoved in there once I sat down and looked at his stuff because just the free speed.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure. Because you need some way to push stuff through because, like you said, he gives +6 damage max to everything.
He gives tons of damage. Yeah. He's got damage in spades. But trying to approach like a full-on deck, I feel like most decks nowadays are very much dictated by their action cards.
Yeah.
Action cards can make or break a deck in the competitive sense. And so that makes it really hard to kind of choose a symbol to run with. Because obviously Bang and Stop are 2 of the best defensive cards in the game.
Sure.
He doesn't have access to either of them. Like if you stack them, you could play stop, but that's not consistent. So so that was the first thing that I did when I sat down to build this character. Once I was like, all right, these are the cards that I think you can build a deck around. It's like, now how do you go through that? And so I just jumped right into, when I looked up all the actions on his symbols in standard. Like that's the very obvious first place to start. And the only real power action he has is revoke, which kind of makes you, if you're not going to play just play entirely a void deck, you want to be able to chain void on your attack lineup so you can revoke.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get banned.
For sure.
Stop, you can kind of work around by just stunning them out and not letting them block.
Yeah.
So like that works out okay. But bang, you get that's a must revoke. So I want to play 4 revokes in my Ken deck. Okay. Regardless of what symbol I play, because if you're going to play mostly his attacks, you're still chaining all 3 symbols, so you still have a lot of wiggle room with what direction you want to take your deck in. So you're not really set in stone. So when I went from there, I just I added in his Shoryuken and his common kick. Yep. And not the Violent Tatsu. Okay. I don't think the Violent Tatsu is good. Largely because of its numbers. For what the attack does. Its numbers are god awful. I'm of the opinion that if you're going to play Violent Tatsu in a deck, I don't know why you wouldn't just play Brain Flesh instead.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
Brain Flesh is a 5 diff. You don't have to remove your hand from the game to multiple it out. It doesn't make any sense to me to not play Brain Flesh over this card. Especially because of its difficulty, you want to open with it, and removing your hand has a cost if you don't get to draw a billion cards off it. Isn't really that's not going to lead you to consistency in killing somebody.
Yeah, true.
Because if you just draw dead off that, you're like,
yeah. So, and then if you get the E canceled on you after you remove your hand, then you're just like, well, I guess I just or even the multiple, because or
if you get prepared to fight blocked.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, no. So I don't even want that on the table. So I cut the card entirely, and I'm not even going to work with it. Okay. Especially because me personally, I'm not likely to buy a bunch of boxes of the set. So yeah. I'm mostly trying to work with commons and uncommons as far as new cards go, which makes it a lot easier. Yeah. His Shoryuken, I wasn't sure about it at first, but I was like, well, I mean, if I like it, I can find 4 copies of it. It's just a rare. Yeah. So it shouldn't be that hard. And so it's I zeroed in on revoke and his low, his low cost in terms of real money, just kind of a budget start, because I feel on top of it being budget and not much of a important bug.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, everyone at home.
It's budget. It's not going to break my bank at all, and I think that's where his power is to begin with. So it's a really big deal. Yeah. And so then we move into we have the pile of cards I came up with. Okay. I opted for all foundations, because I think High Seas Adventure is the most important defensive foundation he has access to. With all the cards out there with all the attacks out there that just kind of blow you away on the enhanced step, I think this card's really important. It's the best card, and it's the best card I can think of to just put a stop to Coffee Samba or Missile Launcher. Yeah. Or, all those cards that everybody wants to complain about. Yeah. That's kind of a catch-all. The Raptor matchup makes that a little awkward, but,
it's just awkward because it's Raptor anyways, so.
Yeah, it's awkward because it's Raptor anyways. So that was the most important thing for me to get it, to get High Seas Adventure in this deck. I didn't go full Void because Void doesn't have a great defensive foundation lineup. And the reason that I don't want to commit to going full aggro with him, because if you're looking at it from a competitive standpoint, when you commit to going full aggro, you open yourself up to having a rough game in top cuts.
Yeah.
And if you have a rough game in top cuts on a deck that just wants to go aggro, that's an easy elimination. So that's kind of like, that's been the philosophy for deck building in Calgary for years.
Okay.
Is to just not even leave yourself open to that possibility, unless the aggro deck is really friggin' broken.
Yeah.
Like Yori 2 level broken.
Yeah, I just thought of that instantly. I was like, probably Yori 2 would probably be the only one you're able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, or Whitzel, or whoever you want, like, all the banned aggro decks.
Yeah.
Nowadays, with aggro being so strong, I don't think it's worthwhile to go full on into the aggro train, because like there is no standout aggro deck that is just better than everybody else, barring Liu Kang.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, that's subject to change as an event comes up too.
Yeah.
But going into like wanting to reliably kill somebody on turn 3 is pretty good in this format. Like, if your game plan is I'm not gonna die on 2, and on 3 or 4 I'm gonna kill you, that's a pretty consistent game plan for this environment.
Sure.
With how hard people will try to kill you to begin with.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at High Seas Adventure as like the baseline for, this is going to knock an attack out. And like, that's important to have in a deck, where people are doing with Swordfish or, all these other cards. That's his out. That's his best out. And then you can go past that. I went for Sense of Morals is good. It kind of leaves the stun plan sort of not so good against you if they can't answer it. That's going to give you the ability to block. And then the other big standout to me was that I've seen a lot of people talking about how powerful Akuma is right now.
Yeah.
And Newborn Weapon stood out to me as a card to have in the main deck to sort of combat that.
Yep.
And because like if you're on a turn 3, 2, and 4 game plan, Newborn Weapon's probably going to stop him from killing you on 2 if you can get a couple of copies of it out.
I can vouch for that card, because I struggled against an Order Runica deck that's going to be coming out on one of our Versus Series matchups, because he built those constantly against me, and I would be like fade, and then he'd play something, then I'd have to hack him, and then he's like, well, I'll commit 2 your foundations, and I go, 2? The card commits 2? Are you serious? The card's very good. It's very good.
Yeah. And I mean, I just randomly ran into that card. I'm like, that seems really freaking good against Kuma. So I immediately felt like that's like, if Akuma is as good as people are making him out to be, without having any idea what's good, because we have been playing a ton of years since Nats.
Yeah.
If that card to me stands out in the same way that Chasing the Fight Money stands out in Liu Kang. Where it's like you have a 1/5 that's decently powerful against what is looking like to coming out ahead of the pack in terms of power.
Yep.
That's kind of that's a weapon. And you can use it on offense too if they're going to try to hack you while you're attacking them. Screw you. So that like those 3 cards kind of stood out to me for like cards to help stay alive. Living Pendulum's kind of like a good 2-way card. Like Goro's Victory, Pose, like Outworld Loyalty. There's some good 2-way cards. But then I was committed. So the all foundation based like that kind of felt correct for the strategy that I wanted to take. The all attack lineup's garbage. Like you can't you get Kurobushi Kick, Imazuma, Violent Shoryuken, and then you're just like,
well, what else do I play? Yeah.
There's not a ton of synergy that all has to offer with that lineup.
Sure.
And especially if you're looking to go all void, so you can play your revokes. So when I looked at it, I was just like, I'm gonna play his support. and I'm just gonna push in with void attacks.
Yeah.
And like if I'm building my foundations anyways, I'm holding my attacks to block with, so that's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
I can even plan around that. Like most of them have all anyways, so like I can block with Ken 2, or I can block with Ken 1.
Yeah.
I can block with like I can hang on to some foundations to block with.
Yep.
If I have to. But I've got my block zones covered on void, and if I'm I'm probably on an even turn choosing to play either attacks or foundations.
Okay.
Not both. So I'm not going to bother poking. Like this character overkills you so easily.
Yeah,
like,
there's no point. There's no
like,
point.
You don't need to poke.
Yeah.
So the important thing with designing the attack lineup was to not have a momentum requirement, so that I don't have to. So there's no reason for me to have to poke.
Yeah.
And to make sure that I could find synergy with Shuriken. So one thing that I noted was that these are all off-zone attacks. So Slaughterhouse has both all and void.
Yeah.
So I thought Slaughterhouse would kind of work out pretty decently. And of course the classic combo off of void that kind of works. It keeps popping up. Slaughterhouse Flush.
Yep.
Yeah. And then 19 attacks in this environment doesn't seem like enough a lot of the time. If you look at a bunch of deck lists that are topping PTCs now, almost everybody plays over 20. And there's a good reason for that.
Yeah.
So to bring up my attack count so that I could see attacks in time, I had Stretch Kick, which is also super broken with this character.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah. But very good with Violent Shuriken, too.
Yep.
The only awkward part that comes up with this attack lineup is like if you end up with like Rain Flush and Stretch Kick as your only attacks.
Oh, sure.
So like it can be a little bit awkward, but it's not unworkable to try to multiple out your Rain Flush. A lot of the time you just build and wait. It's like literally any other attack will turn it on. So you just you hold back and block. You've got the tools to block. It's fine.
Yeah.
And so then I didn't get a chance to have a actual like face off with this deck to see like if it can hold up.
Okay.
But I did a lot of just kind of goldfish testing it out to get a feel for it, to know where my lines of play are going to go. And I was immediately surprised at how broken Kirby's Kick is, for one. Like that, I was just like, I threw it in and I was just like, yeah, it's fine. And then I'm playing it out. I'm like, why is this 20 damage?
Yeah.
Like not even like hyperbole, like literally 20 damage.
Oh yeah, it gets huge very fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like it's like okay.
Yep.
So I was expecting the stun kick to be better.
Yeah.
And I was very woefully mistaken.
Yeah. Like the stun kick's a really good utility card, like with the stun, and then it does you can if you have momentum to make them discard, you got that. You can make them not block with an action card. It's a really neat card to use. But yeah, Kurabushi is like that's his murderizing card. That's just he just murders people with that thing.
When we didn't have all these cards spoiled yet, it was like, oh no, I was gonna do the Sub-Zero deck with them and just be like, oh yeah, Deep Freeze, Icy Slide, and Frost Hammer, all that nonsense.
Yeah,
I was just like, yeah, like he'll wear that hat fine. Especially with this new kick that they brought out, it's like, oh, he's got a stun 2 kick. That's perfect. Like he just wants to stun people.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that works fine. Like you get to play nothing but 3 checks on it, so you can have whatever foundations you want. But the biggest thing is the momentum requirement on Deep Freeze leads you to playing, like you're playing the Takeda Foundation, which is a good card. Takeda Foundation is a great card. But you're also you're playing that, you're playing Fatality. Getting a hold of Fatalities isn't the easiest thing.
Sure.
So, he's got all this power, like just kind of sitting right in his kit, and you don't even have to try. And that's like even talking to Dylan about this deck because he's been playing this thing off fire a lot.
Okay.
And he and I we got into a nice disagreement about this where he's just like, why don't you just play your kill lineup, and then the rest of your deck should go to making your kill lineup more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, it's that works up until it doesn't, and then you're screwed.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I want to if I'm going to play my attack lineup. If I don't see my attack lineup, I'm going to stall until I get my attack lineup.
Yeah.
And I don't care if that's 2 turns or 20 turns.
Yeah.
I'm going to see my attack lineup and then I'm going to kill.
Yeah.
But it was kind of funny is like he's talking about all these cards that he's playing this fire version that it's like because I thought a fire version would be good too.
Mm-hmm.
But he's playing all these cards in his fire version that's like, and this is like he's got he's got improved design because he draws so many cards. You want a discard outlet.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got a discard outlet. I've got Ken.
Yeah.
I've got, I ended up adding, once I realized how many cards this character sees, it became very obvious that you want more. So I added eliminating the van.
Oh yes. I saw that. That's in the next page. Yeah. I saw that on this one and I was like, oh shit, that's cool because say you don't kill your opponent, you have all this damage redux in your hand that you could use. And that's awesome.
Yeah, eliminating the van really fixed that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Getting your stretch kick online is super important.
Yep.
If you don't hit your 1/3 on Ken, you don't get stretch kicks. So it's important. I thought it was important to get some alternate means.
Yep.
Insect Puppeteer is 0-drop that does that for you.
Yep.
E-flip Insect Puppeteer, you're there.
Yep.
He had another card that on fire. I think it was one of Ken's cards. It was the not over until you die. The E-flip added an attack to the top of your deck.
Oh yeah.
I ended up taking that out of my final version because I found that when I was doing stuff, I didn't end up with a ton of attacks in my discard pile all the time, and I want all of my attacks in my discard pile go to power my Violent Shriek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want to be throwing them on top of my deck to try to hit stretch kick.
Yeah.
So I found that I didn't particularly care if I wasn't hitting 1/3 on all of my attacks.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I was hitting them enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, is the RNG nature of the character. You're just making extra checks for sometimes maybe getting damage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Season guide really helped with not only with curving out because I think I only have like 4 1-drops in my current version of the deck, but it's got Sense of Morals ignores prog. Season guide ignores prog as well. But I also found that like showing your top card of your deck after every attack kind of gives you it gives you a better idea of how to order your abilities, because sequencing is the most important thing with this character.
Okay.
If I've got an attack on the top of my deck, I'm going to use damaging because I've got the 1/3. But if I have a foundation on top of my deck, I can work around like his attacks. His attacks all have remove costs on them for effects. If you have an attack in your RFG pile, you can like for his draw, you can just use the draw E instead first, and then use the damage E.
Yep.
Because you've got a better chance of hitting an attack. And just like you kind of want to get as much knowledge as you can get with where like how your E's are going to sequence out. To that like. Just make it's gonna like you're never gonna know 100% without doing some wacky ass build that probably isn't gonna be super efficient to begin with.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to make an educated guess based on you have to know that like knowing the numbers of your deck is gonna help a lot, and kind of guess it like making a guess based on what your odds are.
Sure.
Like you just want to count your cards. There's a lot going on. Like I'm playing when I'm playing this thing on Octagon, I've got like my discard pile and my remove from game pile like open on the side of the table at all times,
so you can see,
so that I can see like how many of each card are in there because like I'm playing mostly 4s anyway. But like I want to know like what's left, because like, and I can only imagine like in person it's going to be super annoying having to count all the time too.
Yeah.
But
no, I can understand that.
But no, you've got to know your numbers and make an educated guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be what gets you the game, is guessing correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not guessing correctly, but guessing in a way that kind of gives you the best chances, because that's like, if you're going to hit your attacks as often as possible without being able to know for sure.
Yeah.
And so Season Guide helps a lot with that, without needing to, like, I don't think that physically stacking your deck is going to be super efficient. I think just kind of knowing the Season Guide is good. Like, if you get it, you get it, but if you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
Another I wasn't sure. The other matchup that I was worried about, just kind of based off of hearsay and people talking about their testing and whatnot. I didn't really know what to make of the Lord Raptor matchup.
Sure.
Like, I wasn't sure how I wasn't sure how it was going to go about looking at like all this breaker shenanigans going on.
Yeah.
But just kind of like, I think like it's like almost like kind of out of nowhere. It was just like, I've kind of always wanted to I felt like a lot of the times I wanted sort of an extra foundation while I was attacking, but I wasn't really sure how to accomplish that.
Yeah.
Petrol Power just kind of fits the bill for everything that I want. Like, if I get breakered, I'm just going to drop Petrol Power to keep attacking.
Yeah.
So I think that like that's sort of like it's weird because like it doesn't do anything after you play it.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like it's basically it's like an action card that just drops as a foundation.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because it's one of those things that it's just, it's there to pass checks now after you play it,
right? Like, and it doesn't even really help you build more efficiently on turn one.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so bad getting that on turn one. It makes me feel so bad.
I never want to see it. Like, I mean, you can play it if you have to.
Yeah.
But I think like without having I think that's kind of where testing sort of would lead it, is you want something in your deck that you can just throw away to Lord Raptor Breaker.
Yeah.
And I think that's the card for all. Like I don't think there's anything else that's like I couldn't find anything immediately that felt like it was like that like it was going to be super good. Like, oh yeah, no, if I get breakered, I think that's definitely like, it's not perfect. Like, not perfect, but it's like the same thing like where people would play Agile in a deck.
Oh yeah, or a Folktale Storyteller or whatever, because it builds itself. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. I
mean, the sad part is Folktale Storyteller also probably fits in this deck decently well.
Yeah.
Like if it was on Symbol, the Folktale's probably pretty good. Like it's, most of the lineup has fire anyways. Mm-hmm. Like just not Rainflesh, or I guess not Slaughterhouse either.
Yeah.
But just kind of like Slaughterhouse is like out of the attack lineup. Slaughterhouse is kind of like the weird like. I kind of feel like it's almost not good enough, but the symbol spread kind of makes it
worth
best. It makes it like it makes it seem like it's the best option.
Yeah.
Like it's like I'm not, but like I don't want to play 4 of it because I never want to see more than 1.
Mm-hmm.
But Ken wants 4 of all of his attacks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's sitting in this place where it doesn't seem right on paper, but I don't really have. There's no alternative that jumps out to me that says like this is the right is the right attack.
Yeah.
So that's where I want to improve it.
Mm-hmm.
Because Rainflesh feels super good. I love Rainflesh in this deck. Rainflesh is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then Stretch Kick at 4 kind of is about as far as I want to go with attacks that you can't Rainflesh out of.
Yeah.
So you get to be in this weird spot where it's like you want a void attack with 2 more keywords that's maybe a kick that has synergy with your other kick, like your other kick attack lineup, plus this random punch, plus rain flush. That's like all off zone, so you don't want to play any of Reptile's attacks.
Yeah.
And it's just like Slaughterhouse has all, so you can poke with it if you have to, and then build foundations, and it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you don't really want to poke with it because it buffs your attack line.
Yeah.
There's all these lines. There's like all these lines that shoot off of Slaughterhouse, so you're just like,
it's like Galaxy Brain or Pepe Silva meme, like that, you know?
Yeah. It's like you got the big wall of like
of like theory strings,
those like Slaughterhouse circled in big letters. Can we talk about Slaughterhouse?
We're gonna talk about the Slaughterhouse.
I really want to talk about the Slaughterhouse. But I mean that also might be a card that is. I don't think there's anything out of the Darkstalkers tins in this deck.
I don't think so. I think you're good.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
So when rotation hits, there could very well be a void attack that is like the perfect fit for this.
Sure.
Because this deck is not losing anything.
No, it is not. No.
Even after that, I don't think it has.
The next closest thing I think
it's got Feral.
Is Feral? Maybe. I think Feral would be
Rain Flush.
Oh yeah, Rain Flush. Sorry, there we go. Rain Flush.
I don't even think losing Rain Flush is going to be a huge deal for this deck.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's an easy non-momentum based kill.
Mm-hmm.
So, there are like other cards I was looking at is like Shirara Yukan.
Oh yeah, that card's great.
Very obviously good card.
Yeah.
It's a little awkward with Ken too. Because of his RFG costs, he doesn't have a built-in way to draw it easily.
Oh, sure.
But the fun part about it is if you're Ken 1, and I was abusing this at Nationals, is if you have your opponent stunned out in USRK and you put an attack on top of your deck, like a Rain Flush,
you're drawing it. Yeah.
You can draw it off Ken 2. Or you can draw it off Ken 1 by committing a foundation if you know they're not going to block.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was like the freest. Like that was the freest fucking missile launcher I had all weekend. It's like, oh, by the way.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Right?
Yeah, because I like Slaughterhouse in here because even if you need to poke with it, and you hit an attack, it's a 7 mid-7.
It is a 7/7, and if you're stacked, it has stun 2.
Yeah, and if by chance you get +2,
statistically better than Chasm Buster.
Yeah,
which was not a bad card.
That's insane.
Like Chasm Buster was the face of its symbols for like 3 years.
So, do you think like there's gonna be you mostly are planning for just the 1/3 because I know there's a lot of thought man, if I hit that 2/6 off the top, very rarely have I seen in testing here that someone hits a 2/6. You know,
I would never count on 2/6.
Yeah. Unless you set it up by some really weird deck stacking way.
If you have Season Guy out and you flip an attack after your attack, and you have not over till you die, and you put another attack up there, there's your 2/6.
Yeah, there's your 2/6.
That's fine. Like that's a flip cost.
That's an 8 mid-10 Slaughterhouse. That's okay. Right?
I just felt like it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, no, I get you. No, I'm just saying funny numbers, but
it's cute.
Yeah. I'd rather go for more efficiency.
It's certainly good, but you can use stuff like eliminating the van is going to give you more back and forth, and it's going to still give you 2 damage.
Yeah.
For what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think I actually took it out of this deck for eliminating the van. Because I didn't feel like I was getting a ton out of not over till you die.
Okay, sure.
I wasn't super impressed by his 3 diff because I didn't want momentum.
Yeah.
I didn't care about momentum, so I was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to spend momentum on something dumb, I'll just revoke it.
Yeah.
I don't. And then the 1-drop didn't really jump out.
Saved by Elena. Yeah.
I mean, I can't spell Saved by Elena. I actually have to look at it. Yeah, like a deadlock that I'm never going to get to
Hmm.
for momentum that I'm never going to need anyways.
Yeah.
Like it's cute. Like if you poke and get a momentum, it's cute for your like the violent shuriken to pick up a card is really good.
Hmm.
But that's like more or less the only time I would want the momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
The
gonna spend it
two,
on violent, sure you can. You're not gonna blow it on anything else.
yeah, like the axe kick double momentum cost for
Yeah. For a discard, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically duress. Like I've been playing a ton of Magic lately.
Okay.
It's, 2 momentum for duress is like it's good, but I don't really want to build the deck to generate 2 momentum on a symbol that isn't really good at it to begin with.
Sure.
So it's like it's cute if you get it, like if you're stuck in a long game, but for the most part, it's unnecessary. Like it's a stun 2-3-4. That's fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's not a horrible lead-in. That's not that.
No, it's not a bad place to be at all.
No.
Especially like as you're like if you go like Slaughterhouse stun 2 kick, like that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, it is. And especially if you hit the 1-3 off the top. Yeah, that's
if you're stacked, that's stun 6 on your second.
The meme. It's so good.
I'm not joking. Like I started out with like, yeah, I'm gonna stack Ken. It's gonna be funny and awesome.
Yeah, and then it turned into a viable strategy.
It surprises me at how easy it is to do.
Yep.
And how efficient it is.
Yeah.
Like it's incredibly efficient.
Trent's Ken deck it stacks using the same engine.
100%. Like if you're gonna play Violent Ken, even if you're gonna play him on fire, if you're gonna play all of his attacks and stretch kick,
you might
stack him. Just stack him.
Just stack him.
Like just do it. Like I do the full on Shia LaBeouf. Just do it. Like straight up. Like I'm not joking. That's really freaking brutal.
Yeah. Because you're gonna have all these cards anyways. You gotta get an outlet for it. So you're gonna have all these cards.
Like,
so
Ken one. Like I'll stand by it. He was by no means a bad character.
Yeah.
I was willing to play it at Nats. I wasn't 100% trolling. Like, I think legitimately he's a good character.
Mm-hmm.
Just he's really conservatively costed for what he does.
Yeah.
But he does is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of leveraging it. Mm-hmm. This character can leverage that.
Yeah.
Really easily.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
You got a 721 that draws 2 cards in attack. Like just stun people.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, definitely. Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just do it. No, cool. I'm not joking. Like that's not you're not trolling if you do that. That's,
no. Oh no. Trent's killed a lot of people just using that engine because it's nuts. Like when you're able to just fire off and you hit it's just you can dominate. You stun a guy out and they have no answer for it. Yeah. You're cooked, man.
It's like even from my experience playing Ken 1 dot, it's like his biggest problem was that he really desperately wanted to be 7 hand size because a lot of the time he really wanted the extra attack.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat helped a lot because it gave him a lot of draw tools.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, you're 6 hand size. You're building 1 less, and you don't have damage, so it's hard to like really pop off on somebody. Mm-hmm. And Ken 2 just solved both those problems.
Solved every one of his problems whatsoever. So
solved all of his problems, and we've already had since Bebop with Here We Go and even with Blood Omen with the Heidi support, it has never been easier to stack a character.
Oh yeah, for sure. Mad Pro, he off of fire, he got some Mad Pro stuff too, doesn't he? Off of fire.
Yeah. You get Mad Pro stuff off fire. Yeah. You get Heidi support off fire and Fire Life Air. Yeah. You've got Gemini Man support off of fucking Evil Air Water. Yeah. You got Mega Man 3 support off water, or off Good Order Water. That you've got the foundation that you can if you take 4 more damage, flip and stack.
That's crazy.
It's never been easier to stack a character.
Oh yeah.
And the only reason nobody does it is because there's hasn't really been a reason to. You don't have to. Mm-hmm. Nobody really gets you the value that you want out of having to play all these cards.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
It's just why bother, because you can play better fundamentally strong cards and that's that's it.
But this actually makes sense though.
This character actually gives you a significant strategical advantage over doing it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
more so than I think any other character that's had a second version printed
Mm-hmm.
a long time.
Okay.
Like this is like Jin Kazama levels of you're stacked and you're gonna punch somebody's teeth in. Like I don't know if you played during Tekken era.
I did not play during Tekken era, so
no. Jin Kazama was like he was like a 3-diff character. Like this was kind of like the start of like, hey, we can crank down difficulty on characters and make them easier sixes, not sixes. Jin Kazama was like, discard a character card from your staging area. Your attacks get +2 damage for the rest of your turn.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a really cool character. And then he had you could play that while committed, and he was form commit. Your checks get +1 for each character in your staging area.
Oh wow!
For the rest of the so it's like you stacked him up to 3 and 4. You just pop off on something.
Yeah, you're never failing a check. Yeah, there's no way.
Like that character was really good.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like we haven't had any really we had like Gemini Man was really good when you stacked him, obviously. And then like Heidi, but there hasn't really been like a super like really good stacked character to take advantage of different versions of the same character. I think the closest that we've had, like Mega Man's okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jeremy Ray. But I don't think anybody else is going to play that character. Like, Jeremy Ray's like the most diehard Mega Man fan I can.
Oh, for sure.
But I don't think anybody else is going to like really take the dive on that.
Yeah.
And so like outside of that, like we had Kyo was like pretty good if you stacked him.
Yeah.
Like he was okay. Not competitive good, but like fun casual good, and could randomly beat competitive decks just because you're playing like Shield Ram.
Yeah.
But like this is like I honestly God think that stacking Ken is competitive.
Okay.
Like I would advocate testing that and playing it, and even if you're in the camp of why bother defending yourself, play more aggro and run faster, by all means, stacking's still going to kill people.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're on that plan.
Oh yeah.
If you're on that plan, you get halfway into your kill turn and you draw. Here we go, and there's Ken in my discard pile. Let's go.
Oh, you're doing it
on the table,
dude.
On the table. We're now stunned 2 every attack.
You're getting stunned 2 on every attack. Why wouldn't you? There's no point not to. It will pretty much if you do that, you're pretty much guaranteed a kill, especially with the amount of damage he puts out.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's very little that can stand up to that kind of stress on the staging area outside of like. Outside of having like multiple copies of sense of morals,
yeah,
and then checking like godly on all of them and just constantly writing everything, and even then, like that's still really stressful.
Yes,
it's like I don't know that there's like decent enough stun hate to really stand up to that. Plus the amount of speed and damage he puts on.
Yeah, there really isn't, unless like you just drop Pit, like you said earlier. That's pretty much it.
Just drop Pit.
You just drop Pit. That's the only way. That's the only way you can do it.
It's like Spike 1 with bridging the races and God of Thunder, maybe.
Yeah,
but that's a Garrett deck. Like,
yeah.
No, you're gonna see that twice a year. Like,
cool. All right, so is there anything else you'd like to do? Shout outs or anything else you wanna say before we end the episode?
Shout out to Marco for helping me make my Ken 1 deck better for Nats without realizing it. God bless you.
Awesome. Great. Well, I want to say thanks for coming on. Thanks for this is probably the best episode we've had because you.
Oh, I know that ain't true.
Oh no, trust me. Most of the time it's just me just spouting out stuff, but we've had other people come on. But you went through like every process of the deck. And we've been doing just regular finished decks. And this was actually, you talked about your idea. You went through the whole concept, like start to finish, and that was fantastic. So I appreciate that.
I mean, I think that's important. Like that's something that is not easy to like because of the characters that we've had come out in the last while. That's not a process that people have had to refine a whole lot.
Very
when
true.
you can find success playing a large number of characters on the roster that are not particularly difficult to build.
Sure.
So I think it's great. Like I would love to see more characters like Ken 2 that are much more open ended and allow you to explore how you want to approach them rather than having them tell you how to approach them on the character.
Yep. No, I understand that. Okay. Well, thanks again. I know I don't know how cold it is. I don't know how cold it is in Calgary, but stay warm and all that.
Oh, it's not that bad actually.
Oh, okay. It was like
we're in a heat wave right now. It's been +5.
Oh wow! It was like 45 here today, so it was great. So
I think +5 is about 40 to 45.
Oh, okay, cool then. All right, you're Celsius.
40 to 45 here.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it's 5 here.
That's right. You're Celsius.
It's because like I work in shipping, so like all of our stuff is in Fahrenheit for whatever reason.
Oh,
but it's like, but I know the Celsius.
Okay. Alrighty then. So have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more gal treatment, more everything else. With the PTCs coming out, we're gonna have a bunch of stuff coming out. So stay tuned. Talk to you all later. Good night.